The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, welcome to the show. It's Nikki Glaser Podcast. Here I am. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I'm trying to remember to say that every day. It's really fitting for my life recently. I'm just keep going, oh my God, how has not more people written songs with this in it? Oh wait, they have. Matt Pond wrote a song called The Problem Is Me that I talked about on this podcast back in September, long before Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift came out. So check that song out. Today on this show, I am in Los Angeles still, because my boyfriend is working on Beauty and the Beast. Check it out on ABC, December 15th or something like that. Not quite sure when I think it's December 15th, but he played me, or I guess he told me, I should say, about some of the musical performances that are happening, and they are amazing. And I forgot how much I loved that movie. Andrew is in Indianapolis tonight, so he is not here, but Anya Marina is filling in. She is here. She is live from Cupertino, which is where your iPhone was not made, because we know that's China. It was created intellectually nearby, and she's up in the hills of Cupertino where her parents live. Is that too specific? Are people going to find them?
Oh yeah, they're gonna find them. Please come over. No, that's fine. But your little logo of the maps on your iPhone, that is Cupertino. It says like 280 right there. Or
Yeah.
It used to. They changed
like when you click
it.
on maps on your iPhone, the little picture that is on your app is Cupertino, is like where your parents' house is.
Yeah, that guy.
So you can go to that intersection. How far are you from that intersection that is on the app picture?
Like right there is where I went to Starbucks today.
No way!
There. Oh yeah.
There's a Starbucks there? I bet if you could take any
8,
tiny square picture of a quarter mile of America, there would be a Starbucks in it. So I guess that's not that crazy.
Especially in Cupertino.
Really? There's so many?
Multiple. Oh yeah, I was at the one today and the guy was like, "I'm so sorry, someone took your drink. It's just been that kind of morning." And it was so nice, he made me a new one. And then the lady behind me was like, "Is my cappuccino right?" And he's like, "Oh my God, let me check. I think someone might, wait, did you put your order? Hold on, ma'am. Can I see your phone?" And he's like, "You picked the Starbucks 2 blocks down." And he was so nice.
Oh my God,
he made
that's
her
so
a new
helpful
drink.
of
He's
him.
like, "We'll take care of you." Yes, he goes,
These people are dealing with this all day long. There was a meme going around the other day that I posted where it was like a Starbucks employee, like kind of crouched down in almost the fetal position, like looked like he was really sad, like on the floor. And then there was another employee that was comforting him. And the meme was when she says, "I'm never coming back to the store again." So it's just like, they don't fucking care. Like it was just like making fun of when people say that at Starbucks. These employees.
I thought you were going to say it's like a pipe comforting another pipe.
Oh yeah, it was exactly like the pipe shot. Noah is in Arizona. She's here. Yeah, that pipe shot. I didn't get to look at the comments on that, but I hope that people saw what I was talking about. There are some people that see these things that I see too. Often my friend Taylor, the train jumping hobo, sees them a lot in faces and stuff. Yeah, so what was I going to say about Starbucks? Oh, it's such a vast difference between the kind of employee you'll get at a Starbucks. You might go to a Starbucks where they're just like not having it, don't want to have anything to do with you. And then there's some that are so nice that they've recently maybe had a meeting about being kinder to you can tell that they just had a team meeting about like, you need to start asking people like, "How's your day? What are you getting into today?" Like yesterday I went to Starbucks and I don't talk to any of the employees there because I do mobile orders. So you just go up and grab them. So they don't have to have these like partner interactions, which is what they call them, I think, because I'm on the Starbucks subreddit. So I read all about what it's like to work at Starbucks. And I think they call it maybe the people they work with are partners, but there's something that they really drive home. Like you got to talk to people that come up to the counter and be like, "How's your day?" And like really connect with them. Which to me seems like bullshit, and I'm sorry that you have to do that as an employee anywhere.
There's like courtesy, but why do you have to like connect with someone for 3 minutes?
Because then it creates a connection that, makes you feel like this place cares about me. I'm home, this place where I buy an $8 latte is home. These people get me. This is like Cheers.
Totally. I walked in yesterday and the guy goes, Anya? And I'm like, oh, I feel so, how do you know? Because I've only been in town a couple days. And he goes, I know your order. And I know
I genuinely miss the Starbucks people I have had so many different Starbucks in my life, but there's one that I used to go to during the pandemic. That was the cafe was the first to open, and when I was living with my parents and didn't really have a lot going on, I think it was before the podcast even. Like, it was just, I would go there every single day and write, and there was this girl there whose name I now forget, but I run into her around town sometimes, and she and I like struck up a friendship. She didn't realize I was like semi-famous or whatever I am. I hate saying famous, but she didn't know I was somebody until after we had already been friends. And then she was like shocked. It was like a fun thing for her to go like, wait, what? Like her freak out. And then I see she goes now to the beauty school that is by the Starbucks that I live at. And so I run into her there. There's like this beauty, like Aveda. Maybe it's not even Aveda. Like there's some beauty school that is right next to my Starbucks apartment building Starbucks that I live next to. And right before class, there's like seriously probably 70 people dressed head to toe in black, because I guess that's the uniform, and they all line up to get their drinks. I'm dying to know why these people don't mobile order. People love a line. But I really do miss the people that I see every single day at Starbucks in my neighborhood who are always like, here's your latte, Nikki. Like, and I go, I'll see you. I'll be back in 2 hours. Like, they know that I'll be back. They don't give me shit about drinking too much caffeine, which, by the way, I'm off. And yesterday I actually did an interview with a friend of mine. So a friend of mine I met through, I'm not going to give any specifics because I don't know if I'm not supposed to say, but he interviewed me for this thing. And then we struck up a friendship. And while we were interviewing, we got into a lot of other subjects. And I was like, you know what you should do an article on? Like people quitting caffeine and how caffeine is like such a more, problematic and really, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say systemic because that makes me sound smart, but it's so not that word. So it's like a bigger issue than we think. And it's like, insidious, pervasive. I guess maybe is the word.
It's a pervasive.
Yeah.
Addiction.
Yeah. What are other words that make me sound like a political analyst? It's just a bigger problem than you think. And then I said that mellifluous. No, that's how you describe my name when I used to talk about it. So I told him that, and I said, and there's this whole community, a subreddit about it called Decaf, where people are talking about how hard it is to quit. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. And he was like, yeah, check it out. And so then he writes to me and is like, my editor like really likes the idea, so I think I'm going through with it. And I was like, fuck yeah, like it's gonna get out there. And then I saw him post on the Decaf subreddit, like, hey, I'm a journalist writing an article about quitting caffeine. If anyone wants to talk to me, and I was like, go, dude, go. And so then yesterday he was like, do you want to talk to me about it at all? And I was like, sure. So I said that I don't think I'm addicted to caffeine. I'm addicted to Starbucks because it is not. Me quitting caffeine has not changed the magnitude and the frequency with which I drink Starbucks at all.
I was at LAX the other day. I was at gate 52. I was supposed to be at gate 52B. And I was like, where's the Starbucks? I got to get my whatever breakfast sandwich and tea. And I'm carrying a very heavy guitar, a heavy backpack, and like a tote bag or something. And I'm like, oh, it's gate 60. This should be easy. And then I quickly realized it's in a slightly different terminal. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. I had to go, I'm asking people, I'm like lugging this shit around. My knee's hurting. I'm like, where is it? And they're like, it's just down the stairs, and then it's kind of a hike. And then it was just like an endless tunnel. And I'm in the middle of the tunnel sweating because I'm trying to wear lots of layers so I don't have to pack them in my bag. And I'm just thinking, bitch, you are a fucking addict. Like so addicted to this dumb, greasy sandwich. Like, what is it? And I had the same thought. I'm like, it's not even the caffeine. It's something about the place. I hiked for 20 minutes.
I have the same. Yeah.
And then I almost missed my flight.
You almost missed your flight? Or you did?
Because it was one of those happened to me so many times as well. Where they're like, you have to take a shuttle to 52E. Like I'm walking around, I'm like, here's 52A, and then it says like 52B.
It's not even a joke,
J.
Anya. This is so serious. I do the same thing. When my plane lands, the first thing I do is look up what terminal the Starbucks is in and if it's worth me going to a different terminal. How many times have I met you at baggage claim when you guys get off the plane a little bit before me and I go, I'll see you at baggage claim, and I come like 15 minutes later because I've gone to another terminal to get Starbucks because I can't wait. It's such an addiction. Wait, Noah, you have this?
Every time I get Starbucks, I always crave it. Like, and I have to get another time. Avi does not like Starbucks. So I'm just like, oh, can we go to Starbucks? Can we go to Starbucks? And he has to tell me no for me to not go back. But it's never just like one cup, because I think about it like 3 days after. I was just like, Starbucks.
I mean, they do give you cocaine with the drink.
Yeah. I always get a Trenta cocaine. No, I don't know what it is, but it's like there is a couple things that could get me to quit. Okay, if they ran out of almond milk, I'm not going oat milk. I'm not going soy milk. Too much sugar. It would get me to. I would just have to find another thing that I would be into. I really would. If they got rid of the sugar-free vanilla, which a lot of times, because on mobile orders. Welcome to Starbucks Talk, everyone. If you're just joining us.
It's like the Starbucks cast.
Yeah. Sorry,
Stevecast.
Stevecast.
We're almost done.
We need that update on Steve, by the way.
Okay. Well, let me just finish my diatribe.
Yes.
On Starbucks. Because I think this is maybe relatable. Like, if anyone has any insight into their own Starbucks addiction, because that's the two things that could get me to quit. Because sometimes on the mobile order, they will say, we're out of almond milk or we're out of the sugar-free vanilla, and there's no alternative. There's no other sugar-free syrup. I need a syrup in my coffee. There's no other milks that have no animal products and low sugar. So if those two things go, my addiction will be broken. It will jump onto something else. I will find something else to suck down every day in, gallons fulls. And it might be Steve. I'm just kidding. Cool transition. Okay. So Steve wrote on Saturday. I was in the car headed down to San Diego Valley Center at Harrah's, and I was in the car with Anya. I don't know what I'm doing an Australian accent, but so
Not
he
bad,
wrote,
mate.
and I gasped. If you remember correctly, Anya was driving. Radu, my opener, was in the front seat with Anya, and I was like, oh, it's Steve! He wrote, Glazed Dog, Anya, Puddle Boy, and Noah. I'd like to come forward as no friend Steve on the Stevecast. Because we said he had no friends. You went alone. Thank you for all the compliments. Most of all, that I pick up on social cues. So Anya said that he seemed to pick up on. I didn't remember that comment.
Yeah,
you said that he picks up on social cues.
Yeah, he knows when to leave, and I actually didn't want him to leave, but yeah, he knows when to be
As
like,
you
all
twirl
right,
your
thank
hair
you so much.
seductively.
I know. You're like fixing yourself up. Don't worry.
I know. You were totally getting bashful. You were blushing.
I'm touching my arm.
All the cues. My impulse is to post that podcast on my LinkedIn profile, but not sure it would further my apple picking career all that much. Someone's funny. This guy's
amiable, quick-witted.
I mean, God. Anya,
Sparkly
I'm enjoying the
smile,
extra large
sparkly
shirt,
eyes.
but not as much as
That's
the
our
new
little
workout
inside
tunes
joke.
that you and Steve have.
Yeah, we have two.
That he had sparkly eyes. Did you tell him that? Not in person.
No, I told him he looked like a medium, not an XL.
Oh,
and
right.
he was
yes.
like, don't tell me that. So that's our little inside joke. And then also,
oh my God, you have a thing with Steve. I'm so jealous. I have a thing with Steve too, but I'm not even going to talk about it on here because it's so sacred to me that we share it.
Oh, bitch. Tell me.
No, it's
You
between
can
me
share
and
it
Steve.
with
You
me.
can't know. Steve, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It involved a camera phone and you taking a picture of a sign. I saw it. I don't even know what it was about, but I saw it. I saw the sign.
Me. I need to know.
Okay, so I can't keep it to myself anymore. Okay, there's actually nothing.
I got hot
okay,
and had to take my jacket off just now.
I know.
Why can't we talk about Steve? Isn't that the name of a movie about lesbians? Why can't we talk about Steve? Okay. So when Matt was escorting me back to the theater from the meet and greet, I was following Matt, and then I ran into Steve on the way out because Steve had just been the last person, so he was just kind of
so
like
lucky.
ahead of us in the same direction. And he was taking a picture of the name of the place, which was the Luther Luther Burbank Center. And I forgot to do my Luther Burbank joke. I wrote a whole fucking joke about being at the Luther Burbank Center, which was the name of the place we played in Santa Rosa. And it was about Luther Burbank was a famous horticulturist. And I was like, 2 famous whores. I was going to do something like, I'm a whore in culture as well. So anyway, I ran to Steve. He was taking a picture of the sign. And Steve, if you could send us a picture of that sign, because you did, he took it. And I go, take it. I go, got it. Or I said something because I was like nervous around him. Why? I got in line for his meet and greet after that. I was like, can I get a picture with you? There
How do I
are
get a
times
wristband?
where I want to get a picture with people that take pictures with me because they're either such cuties or like they just, and oftentimes I do get the picture because they post it later and I go, oh, I remember them. There's one guy that comes to all my shows. He went to on the Improv the other night. He was front row wearing my Nikki Glaser shirt, and he went to 2 shows. He was like, I see you every November. And I go, I'll see you next November. And then he was at the next night too. So shout out to that guy with long hair. I forget his name. I want to say like Hansel or something. You know what I'm talking
was
about?
that in Valley Center?
He's
The guy in Valley
gorgeous.
Center.
Yes. He's like a beautiful man. He looks almost like, he looks like a medium, like literally like a person who could see your future.
Wait, is he white?
Long hair. Longer hair. No. He,
Okay.
he's
There's
a
a
brown kid.
white guy from San Diego that had long hair and maybe a goatee. Anyway, I have an amazing picture that Becky, the photographer, took of him. And I know I've like DM'd with him before and I wanted to send him this amazing picture of you two because it's like
okay,
a
well, if you're
professional one, but I
a
couldn't
white
have it.
guy with long brown hair and a goatee, reach out to Anya about that picture.
Yeah.
Okay, so wrapping up Steve's note, he says,
Oh my God.
he goes, so Anya, I'm enjoying the extra large shirt, but not as much as the new workout tunes. After Party at Jimmy's is my jam. I don't even know that song. He is like going deep in your collection. Nikki, it was only
a great
after I
song.
realized, after looking, I'm sure you wrote it?
No, I wrote it with Jason and Brian from Louis the 14th. It's a true rocker. You'll love it.
Oh, fun. Nikki, it was only after looking at the picture we took I realized I am the unfunny tall guy from your act. I'm the unfunny tall guy. It's me. Oh my God, he made a Taylor Swift reference.
Oh, we didn't
I
get
didn't even
that
realize this
earlier.
stuff. He goes, I'm the unfunny tall guy from your act, because I talk about how tall guys aren't funny because they don't need to be because everyone likes them already. He said, I'm the unfunny tall guy. It's me. You nailed it on the pod when you said people depend on you guys to brighten their day. I could ramble on expressing my appreciation for what you all do Monday through Thursday and beyond, but think I better sign off here. And that was
Love
it
how he
from
worked
him.
a plug in. He's like, if you are just listening for the first time, it's Monday through Thursday.
Oh, he said, but I think I better, he totally did. Thank you, Steve, for that. He said, but I think I better sign off here like any bestie would. Join me with a career apple picking in Santa Rosa. Wages are competitive with full benefits and lots of upward mobility. Now hiring. He said, P.S. The sweater is from Old Navy 2 Thanksgivings ago. Those guys can really pump out a quality garment. I mean,
Steve!
girls, if you are a single woman and you don't have much tying you down to wherever you live, move to Santa Rosa, find this guy. He's funny. He's charming. He's cute. He wears Old Navy. He makes it look good. He's not trying too hard wearing expensive clothes that are, he doesn't care too much about his look. He'd already, that's the thing you want in a guy. You don't want a guy that cares too much about his clothing, but still looks good in it. Agreed?
Yes,
More on this when we get back
do we know
after this
he's
break.
Straight? Sorry,
No,
Steve, that wasn't an
We
A.
don't. Okay, but men too. Throw your hat in Steve's ring. Go out.
Okay.
Anya, you're devastating me with this possibility that Steve might not be heterosexual. I want to have a chance, even though I don't.
I just made
want one.
is the comment I just made is equivalent to my innocent comment saying, Steve, you look more like a medium, not an XL. I'm sure he's listening right now like, Anya, I am straight. I'm sorry. But he's so good looking.
Yeah.
He could be gay.
Yeah, he could be. That's a good point. Okay, well, we'll investigate this and much more after we get back from break. All right, welcome back to the Starbucks Stevecast. No, we've covered both those things. Wait, what did you say about Steve right when we got back on?
I was
that made
like,
me laugh
because you're
a
like
minute.
ladies, and I'm like, or maybe he's gay. But
Right,
sorry,
right.
I didn't mean that as a nag. Same thing with the comment.
You know
about
what?
the
Steve is
medium
not the type
t-shirt.
of straight man, if he is straight, that would be offended at anyone thinking he's gay.
No, because he's
You know
such
what I mean?
an
He's
easygoing,
secure.
amiable, secure, confident man.
Yeah, he is. God, how is he single? We got to get Steve on the podcast and interview him. Steve, if you'd be down to come on the podcast, we want to learn more about you. I did write him back and I said, like, what do you do for a living? And I forget. Oh, he works I think in construction. And then he said something
my
about like his
God,
hands
really?
something gets bloody. And I was like, why are you bleeding? And he said it was because he has to clear mulberry trees. And he said there's many thorns on them.
Oh my God.
And something like that.
I love rugged
Turned
hands, so now
on.
I'm totally sold on Steve.
Okay, so you're sold?
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait,
everyone kind
is
of
that
freaked
how
out
apple
on the
picking came
Instagram.
up?
No, I just was like, why did I know you were working in some bushes? I had no idea. But Santa Rosa's like wine country. There's lots of orchards or like
Right.
vineyards. There's lots of herds there. So, but okay,
Let us
so
know
a
your
little
sexual
update on
orientation, Steve.
Yeah, please, Steve, let us know if you would be down, even though we're not down because we have partners. But we just want to know if you'd be down, if you're just down for vaginas or penises. We're not going to judge you either, or both. Like, we don't care either way.
DFV.
I don't even really want to know because I feel like I need to convince myself, even if you do only like men, that I could persuade you. Why?
Oh yeah, we could
Am I
flip
even
him.
continuing to talk about this? I need a Starbucks. Okay, so I recently went to the voice doctor and got a checkup again. It was a couple weeks ago. I didn't talk about it on here because it was like too traumatic, but I got an update that some of the trauma on my vocal cords is back. And it's very upsetting because I spent so much money and so much time and so much silence on making them better. And it's back. So I am deciding to take a break, and especially with my tour amping up and just with just trying to be more easy on my voice and also be able to sing, because I got this done because I like singing and I want to sing and it's good for my mental health. And I'm putting singing above work. I want to be like, with the podcast every day and with my tour, I had to cut out all my social interactions, no more phone calls with friends, and no more singing. And I used to sing every single day and play guitar, and I had to take it out, and I realized I was getting depressed. And so I'm taking the podcast down to 1 day a week until the end of the year to see where I am with my abrasions on my cords, my perfect cords that are all fucked up again now. And but during that time, I feel guilty because I was crying about it to Chris last night because I'm like, I want to still sing, but and I want to socialize, but it feels like, how can I get away with that if I'm not, people are going to be like, oh, you're singing on now, but you're not working. So how can you do both? It's like, because I want to, sometimes I feel like work always has to come first. And in some ways it does. If you are contractually obligated to do something. iHeart has been so cool, and they have allowed me to take a break from the podcast, doing it 4 days a week. 4 days a week was something that I originally conceived of because it was during the pandemic. It was when I wasn't doing stand-up as much, and it just made sense for my life. But things change, and it just doesn't make as much sense for my life right now, especially with this damage, to do it every single day. It's just too taxing on my voice, and it makes it so I can't hang out with friends. I can't do anything else those days or sing. So I'm just doing it 1 day a week until the end of the year, and then we'll reassess. But I hope you understand, and I understand that it's frustrating to some of you who depend on this every single day. And then there are others of you, because I mentioned this on Instagram Live the other night, others of you that were like, I stopped listening to the podcast because it was every day and I couldn't keep up. So it's going to benefit some people and it's going to annoy some people. And I hope that those who it annoys, will understand. Final thoughts. That's all.
Well, the end of the
Do you
year
ever feel
isn't
that way though?
far.
That you feel guilty
Yeah.
about doing things that are not making you money? with your energy when you complain about work taking so much of your energy, and then as soon as you get free energy, you're like, I should be putting this towards work, but instead you want to do something else. Do you ever feel that way?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have a little time off and you want to watch some stupid show or go for a walk, and you're like, I should be doing data entry or figuring. I there's a million endless things on my to-do list I haven't finished, but we always forget that self-care stuff will pay off. It just doesn't seem like it in the moment. But a nap, massage, mostly
Reading a
just
fourth
sleep.
Columbine book. Yeah, I'm now
It really
finishing
does
my
nurture
fourth.
the soul.
Yeah, I'm at the end
It
of the
refills my
last Columbine
tank.
book I can find, and I
Is it
love it so
really?
much. And I'm gonna miss
You could probably write
these
a book at
wacky
this
adventures
point.
I've been on with these boys. Wait, I was kidding when I said that. What did you say, Noah?
You could probably write a book at this point on Columbine.
I know. I was thinking that like I could do a Columbine podcast at least. Guys, what if I took off this podcast and I was like, I'm good. So now I'm doing 3 supplemental Columbine podcasts a week. I honestly could, because I could have on, I mean, no one wants to relive that except me every day. But I'm
thought
on my
more
last
about
one.
about like what it is, I don't know, like spiritually, or like
Yes.
why, like what it is that attracts you
Yes.
to it so much? Was it
I don't think people are going to want to hear this though.
I know the answer.
Okay,
like the
please.
newlywed game. I'm going to think of it, but then who tells it first, me or you? What I think Nikki will answer.
Yeah, please tell me what you think, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong, and that if we're going on a date tonight.
Okay. Nikki's fascinated with psychopaths and sociopaths. She's also fascinated with wondering if her brain is at all like the brain of a psychopath or a sociopath, or even someone on the spectrum. So she's always taking these quizzes to be like, to try and figure out where she falls on this spectrum, or like if she's normal or not. And she relates a lot to the darkness of some of these guys that have suicidal ideations and like, you know, want to take people out. She would never want to take someone out or be violent, but she's fascinated with the darkness of wanting to check out of this lifetime, and that they had the courage. Oh, that's the wrong
Ding,
word.
ding, 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 ding,
Is
ding. Thank you
Wow.
for saying it so I didn't have to. I didn't realize there is a morbid curiosity. I want to just go back. I just really don't want people to think
Steve.
I'm crazy. Yeah, I want to go back. I would like to go back to Steve. I would like to go back to Santa Barbara. That was so fucking fun. Anya and me and my mom last Thursday, after we recorded the podcast, my mom and I went up to Santa Barbara and met Anya, and we stayed at this hotel called the Californian that is so nice. And if you saw my Instagram, my mom created a new sensation that I want to do with her on TikTok or something, and
Yes,
it's just her
that was
going to
fun.
hotels and going, look at this, look at these sconces, I mean, look at the detail on this
Oh
bed.
my God, the curtains.
Look at this. Just yes, these oh my god, look at this.
Oh my God,
look
these
at over
Moroccan
here.
tiles. Oh my God.
Look at this slab of marble, Nikki. You don't understand. They could do tile. They didn't. These are slabs of tile.
What about her talking about the massage?
Yeah. Oh, that massage. She did things. She woke up some things I didn't even know need to be woken up that were asleep. I don't even know if it was good for me, to be honest with you, because I know about
right.
things now that I
She
didn't
said
know
she
before.
woke up. A part of her woke up that had been dormant for a while, and Nikki and I are like, I think I know what that is. And then she's like, I don't think that was good for me. I think that should have stayed. I'm like, no, Julie, it's good to remember you're alive.
No, my mom
And
is
she's
a
like, I
broken
don't
woman.
know.
Don't forget that. The night that we were at my dad's show and Chris asked my mom if she was going to get up and sing, and she goes, no, I'm a broken woman, Chris. And he could not stop laughing. And she goes, and then last night we were watching Love is Blind, and after one of the girls gets broken up with at the altar, her mom keeps going like, I am broken. And I go, my mom's going to pair up with this woman and do a Lilith fair of broken women. A broken woman is a perfect name for the memoir of
Julie Glaser. Let me
no,
just
it
say.
was Steve.
Let me just say.
What? What about Steve?
Let me just say that. So I'm doing a show in Santa Barbara, and Nikki introduced me, which made me cry. It was the nicest introduction ever.
I was trying to fuck you up, girl. I didn't want you to sound too good. I was like, I'm gonna get her verklempt as shit.
It is weird. I cannot sing.
What did I say that made you cry? Like,
just you were like doing like a hybrid of what I usually do on stage with like how we met, but it was so genuine.
Yeah, that never gets me emotional. I'm just kidding.
I don't remember. You were just like, she's.
No, you say the nicest things about me every night.
Like,
I have to
met in New
go like
York
no because I
10 years
can't
ago.
hear them because it's too nice. Yeah,
You reminded me like Amy introduced us, like, and then we just got on like a wildfire right away. Anyway,
did that make
Nikki
you
does
cry?
this-
That you're not
I
friends
don't
with Amy anymore?
I just like
I don't
recounting
think I knew that
it.
Amy
Yeah,
introduced you guys.
Yeah, Amy was. Amy was a fan of Anya's, and Amy, as good Amy fashion, was just like open for me to Anya, right? Or like do my show. Like she just reached out to you
I
because
asked
Amy just
Amy
is
to do a comedy, to do a set on a
But
music
how did
and
you guys know
comedy
each
show I was
other
doing.
anyway?
Kate Walsh was coming to my show in LA once, and she was like, my friend Amy Schumer wants to come. Is that cool? Put her on the list. And I was like, the comic? This is in like 2009 or 2010, 2011. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, can I give her your
Before
email?
the Schumer
And
boom.
Before the Schumer boom. I remember she was doing that comedy
Schumer
festival
boom was
in
2014.
Portland. Remember Bridgetown? Does that still happen in Portland?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
no,
she
that was a comedy festival.
She called me and she was like, sorry I couldn't make it to your LA show, but I'm obsessed with you. And she's like, you'll never guess where I am. I'm on a couples cruise with my sister. We accidentally bought tickets on a couples cruise. She was like on a romantic cruise with her sister, which we were laughing so hard. And then she's like, I want to keep in touch with you. So we did. We hung out in Portland once with my sister, which was fun. And like we were all going through breakups at the time. And we had this very emotional kind of fun conversation about that. And then when I came to New York on tour, I was like, Amy, will you do a set with me? Todd Barry was going to do something, and Gabe Liedman and Max Silvestri and Abby Elliott or
don't
something.
read any books. That's Gabe Liedman. Anya and
My
I,
favorite
we
line.
love this joke that he does. Is like, I don't read any books. Talking, it's just okay.
It's
Go
so
on. Sorry.
funny. But she was like, I can't. I'm not in town. You should check out Nikki Glaser. And then I was like, Nikki Glaser. I started listening to your podcast you had with Sarah Schaefer. And I got like 3 episodes deep in it. I was just like, this girl is really honest and really cool. And then I reached out to you and we met and I did your podcast. And then we started having dinner every night. And then you were like, move to New York. And then I moved to New York and we moved in together.
I remember talking down to you like, welcome to the city, honey. I'm going to show you around because I thought you were younger than me. I thought you were so much younger than me.
You came
then.
in like tan. You were so tan. I remember like this long blonde hair, and you were just like, "Hey, girl, how are you?" And just like I was like, "Oh, she's busy. This lady. She's a busy lady." What is your joke
I think I was
about how
doing
you're
Nikki and
always...
Sarah live, so I was probably up on the
No,
verge of
you hadn't
collapse. That was
gotten it
before I
yet.
learned how to manage. Oh, I hadn't. I was just
No,
running
I
around
met you
town.
before you got it. You were doing so
That's
much,
right, because
though.
we moved in together right after it got picked up. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
God, you were I needed to get out of my apartment so fucking bad at the time. I was living with this girl who was so depressed and we didn't talk to each other, and I would just come in and like, do you ever live with a roommate where you just don't want to talk to them or like ever run
Yes.
into them? And so you both like kind of creep around the
yeah,
apartment.
yeah.
Like you hear one door shut and then you're like, okay, I'm good to go. And then they do the same thing for you where it's like you guys never cross paths. That's what it was like living with this girl. And I was bulimic at the time. And so I was like, I knew she hated me because I was like throwing up every day and like I was trying to clean the toilet, but I also had to like clean up her mess in the toilet because like that's the worst part about being bulimic is you have to like clean so many toilets and like it's so disgusting. It's better if you live on your own. So like only try bulimia on your own. No, I'm just kidding. It's disgusting either way. Not disgusting like judgmental. It's just like gross. You have to deal with a lot of vomit. So I was living with her. She hated me. I was trying to like eat normally, but every day I would go to this disgusting bodega by my house and get like the same, like sometimes I walk into like, there's some bodegas or grocery stores in New York and you go to like a bad grocery store, like a cheap grocery store, and it just smells like that cold rotted meat. Like it just smells
Yes.
like that deli section has that, it's like rotted meat, but they're refrigerating it. Like it just, so it's like, it doesn't smell like hot. It's just disgusting, that smell. And I still smell it sometimes. And it reminds me of when I used to like come home from sets late at night and just go and get, and the guys knew me. Talk about everyone knowing your name. I would go in there and they would always just like laugh at me because I would get the same like binge foods that were like easy to puke. And it was just so gross. Like I can't even tell you what I ate because it was such a weird like amalgamation of just, if you have eating disorders, you know how weird the foods can get. So it was just, I needed to get out of that so bad and I didn't know how. And I think started going to my abusive, Dr. My Abusive. And so I was kind of getting out of
My
like
abusive therapist.
Yeah. Yeah. My abusive therapist. Yeah, thank you for reminding people. I called her my abusive therapist so many times that Noah noted that it sounded like her name was Maya Abusive.
Oh.
And so Dr. Abusive, I started seeing her. So I was kind of like climbing out of feeling better. And then all of a sudden this angel landed into my life. And I was like, please, let's get a place. And then we moved in together right after Sandy, I think. Hurricane Sandy was like it had hit. And then that, I think I remember I got a migraine that night. It was October 31st. I think it was Halloween 2012. And I was supposed to have my show was starting in 2013. I didn't want to have an eating disorder during the show. I didn't want to drink anymore during the show. I had quit drinking the year before because I had gotten a pilot. MTV had picked up a pilot that we were going to shoot in January. And it was like October when they picked it up. And I quit December 11th drinking. And so I was sober by the time I started working in television. But then it just got, so anyway, it was just perfect timing. And then we moved into that place and I could afford it because I got this TV show. And then it was just bliss living with you. It was so fun. It was such a fun roommate situation. But yeah, so we went to Santa Barbara and I made Anya cry.
Yeah, and then I played a set and I like got my shit together after Nikki's amazing intro. And then I brought Nikki up. And speaking of vocal rest and the surgery and everything, I hear you sing all the time, but when we did Anti-Hero, I was just like zoned out at one point and just watching you like, holy hell. Like, by the way, we have played really nice theaters with amazing sound systems. This was a tiny bar in a beautiful hotel. And the PA was like a tiny box that the DJ plugged me into. And it sounded so good. You were like hitting every note,
nice.
Perfect key. And it was just so fun. And I don't know,
it was so fun. You were so good. It was like, I get to watch Anya every night open for me, but it's like I watch it from the side of the stage and I'm usually like still doing my makeup and changing and stuff and getting ready for the show. So I don't get to fully absorb. And it was just one of those moments of like, oh my God, my friend is as talented as Taylor Swift. Like, but she doesn't really have to try that hard. Because you don't. Like, I really had the realization of like, she's just as good as Taylor Swift, which is, and I told Anya this past weekend,
so
and
nice.
she was like, that is such high praise. And I would not say that if I didn't mean it. I don't dole that out. I don't expect anyone to be as talented as Taylor Swift. No one, you can be half as talented as Taylor Swift and still be one of my favorite artists. But Anya is as talented as Taylor Swift in terms of songwriting. Sorry, Taylor. I know that you want to be the only one, and I would be the same way if I were you. But there's other people. You were right up there.
Taylor's a regular listener. She's at home like, fuck this bitch going from 4 days a week to 1. I count on her.
She'd be like,
What
I
are
just
Steve and I
added
gonna do?
72 dates to my Eras tour. And by the way, thank you to some besties wrote to me yesterday, and I'm getting hooked up with tickets from besties who have
Nice.
who have got, you know, they signed up for 2 different, I don't even know how the thing works, but I guess there's a couple besties that got 2 waiting list things, and they're like, you can have my tickets. Not have them, but like buy them from me. So I'm buying some tickets from one bestie. I'm going to go see her on, I think, August 8th in Los Angeles. So I have guaranteed tickets August 8th. And then I did write to my agent and said, please, please, please help me. And he said he would. So I'm very excited about that. But I'm going to spend so much money on Taylor Swift tickets in the new year. I'm not getting them all for free. I'm not using my privilege. I'm using a little bit, but I'm going to spend some money. And I'm very excited. But it was a clusterfuck yesterday, I
How
guess,
much is
with her
one
stuff.
ticket?
I'm paying $300 for one.
Okay, but that's not bad,
Like,
right?
which, that's not great. I mean, that's
But what do you mean? I'm going
because
to
she's
spend
doing
so much
stadiums.
money.
Because I'm
going
going to
to,
go travel to see her.
Oh,
And I'm
like
going to see her
20
10 times. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
$3,000 at least
Okay.
on tickets. plus
Got it.
travel, plus hotels,
Oh,
plus
right.
I'm definitely going to spend more than $300 on a ticket because those tickets aren't the closest tickets, and I'm going to get close up at some point. And right now on StubHub, they're going for $10,000 tickets.
What?
close
Yeah,
up
I think the
tickets.
cheapest one is like 400. It's gotten so bad yesterday that Congress is like starting to talk about how Ticketmaster and Live Nation need to be broken up.
Yeah, someone was saying that Taylor should start her own ticketing company, Taylor Tix. And so I'm
Taylor
like,
Tix.
Interesting.
I bet you she will. And then, yeah, so Santa Barbara was so freaking fun. And we hung out with my mom. And after the show, after Anya's amazing show, we went. And by the way, this girl came up to me after the show. I hate this kind of fan interaction. She was like, hi, okay, I don't know who you are at all. But apparently you're like a big deal. But like my friend over there is like obsessed with you. And like, you need to come talk to him. And I go, it's a loud bar. I'm not supposed to be talking at all. Like my voice coach said to me, Nikki, I don't go to anywhere loud. Like I don't go to parties. I don't go to loud places. Like if you are mindful of your voice, you just don't talk in loud places. You don't do it. And so I'm at this place and all of a sudden, as soon as Anya was done, they cranks up the music again. Ugh. People are drunk and like screaming in my ear. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. And this woman, right when I'm making my exit, she's like, you need to talk to my friend. And I go, I can't really talk. I just had vocal cord surgery. And of course, she's probably thinking, well, I just heard you sing. Of course you can talk. Can I tell you the number of people, and I'm not kidding you, it's literally everyone in my life that I tell, yeah, I just got back from the doctor. They say I shouldn't talk as much anymore. I'm having to take a break from that. Oh, tell me more about that. Let's talk more about that. Take a fucking hint. I'm not supposed to talk. Stop talking to me. If someone said to me, I have to stop talking, and my doctor's notice to stop talking, I would say, then don't talk anymore. Oh, okay, we're done with this conversation. It's not that I don't want to talk to any of these people, but I've had so many conversations about the fact that I can't talk that keep going with more and more questions after I've said it, and I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. Like I don't know how to tell these people. You know, the other day I had to get off a phone call and I go, again, I have to just go. I've talked too much. My voice hurts. Bye. And I just had to hang up because there was no getting off because they just want to talk more. People don't take hints. Anyway, this woman goes, you have to come talk to my friend. And I don't know who you are. I don't really care who you are. Like that kind of thing of like, maybe she didn't say I don't care, but she was like, I don't know who you are. I guess you're a big deal, but like, I have no clue. And which I don't give a fuck if you don't know who I am. I don't think anyone knows. I don't walk around thinking people know who I am. It literally does not cross my mind most times that I'm someone that anyone would know. And I go, I can't really talk. I can take a picture with him though. And so I go over and she goes, sit down. Sit down and talk to him. Sit down and talk to him, this woman tells me. And I look at her and I was like, no. And she pulls out the stool. She goes, sit down. And I go, I just told you I can't talk. I can take a picture. Let's take a picture. And he's like, I'm a big fan. I've been listening since this time. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so nice. Thank you. And he's like holding my hand a little too long kind of thing, you know? And then I go, you have a good friend here. She, you know, and I'm like, why don't you come over, sir? If you want to meet me so bad, I do like when people go, my friend's embarrassed. She really likes you. Right. But this guy like wanted me to come to him, you know, that kind of thing. He was like, I'm not going to her. And he was kind of like flirty in a way. So he thought maybe this move would get like, and so I took a picture with him and she kept like trying to get me around. But this whole thing of like, I don't know who you are. It's the same people as like, I don't own a TV.
So
is all I have to say.
It's like assuming that you don't have feelings.
So then we went to dinner afterwards. And I just got to say, my mom is so fucking funny. You guys already know that. All my fans already know that. Like, everyone around me knows it. I've always known it, too. It's why I've put her on my TV show and had her on my podcast so many times. She is so delightfully funny. And we just had such a great time. She visited LA and did the show with me, and then she did the podcast. And I just love how much my boyfriend loves her and just laughs at everything she says and everything she does. Like my mom goes, he just looks at me and he laughs. I don't even get it. But I think that's one of the reasons I love my boyfriend so much was how much he loves my mom. And like, I am turning into my mom. There's no doubt about it. It is happening. It is like, it just seems like I'm like transitioning into my mother. Like I just see things. I'll be like sitting in a certain way, or I'll be tapping on my phone with both my fingers, or I'll be like, I don't get it. I'll just say things where I go, oh, we all have those moments of like, I'm turning into my mother. But it's nice that my boyfriend is like, yeah, keep going. He like likes it. Most men are like, don't turn into your mother, but he loves my mom. But she was cracking us up at dinner,
God,
dude.
I was dying.
That was maybe my favorite moment of the year.
Yeah, having Thai food with
That
your
dinner.
mom. When she was getting mad about something in the past, and she was just like, and then I told them, you fuck off, I'll fuck, or whatever. I was like, oh, I see Nikki. Like when she gets really mad about something and heated, and she's like going back in the past and thinking about this moment she had, and she was like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, this is out of control. Absolutely not. And I'm like, oh, she's infuriated.
If
and
I was
like,
a man, I would mow them all down with my sawed-off shot. What, Mom? My mom is into Columbine too, by the way. I don't think for the same reasons. What is wrong with me that I have these? I just want to be normal. Does anyone else just ever want to be normal? And I think that's the thing I struggle with most in my life is like, I just want to be like everyone else. And I know that's like my differences are what sets me apart. But I really struggle with, why can't I just be like everyone else? And
who gets to define what normal is, though?
I do. I'm special. And I know, like, I might not be good. I don't like who I am, but I damn well know who I want to be. Like, I have great taste in who I want to be. And I want to be, like, if I could make a collage of who I was, it would just be Reese Witherspoon. That girl can get away with anything. I saw rumors yesterday on Demois about her being a, like, not nice person on set. And for some reason, everyone's like, but her job's really hard. Like, that's why she's not nice. Like, the amount of pressure she's under, it's like, it makes sense. I'm like, why does this bitch get a pass? But when I'm a little bit bitchy, it's like, Nikki has a personality disorder. And she, like, but Reese Witherspoon, do I have to have a book club so people let me be a little bit aggressive sometimes? Like, why do some people in entertainment get a pass to be a little bit more like alpha, a little bit more like bitchy sometimes or whatever, and then others, like, you'll get canceled for it? I just don't understand. But I do wish I was more like Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, Anya Marina, Kirsten Florman, Noah. I wish I were like all of you. I just want to be like, just like talk like this and like,
shut up.
And like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Like, I'm not making fun of you. I really wish that I talked like this, and we're just like, yeah. And it just like really felt good. And I don't know. I watched a leaf today, and it was just blowing away. It was so beautiful. And then
Who is that? Kirsten?
Yeah, but
no, it's all of you. I'm just
we
like,
all have
this
a
sounds
darker
insulting,
side.
but I want to like, no, there are none of you that are like, fucking fuck. Like, you just didn't
remember Noah's
favorite
favorite music to make love to.
Yeah, but that's like cute and endearing. She's not like
Anthrax.
Actually, like, yeah. I feel like that's nothing. That's not. It's weird, but it doesn't say anything. It's not her doing it.
Right, but I can't speak for Noah, but I know when I'm in an argument with someone, I'm definitely not like, and then a leaf was falling delicately from the tree.
No, I feel like you're like very much like, that sounds really hard. Like, okay. Like that's that.
I wish. I got in a
like,
fight over the last couple of days, and I was like, I wish I had not reacted. I wish I had just been like, thank you for sharing that, and agree to disagree, but have a great day. Instead, I wasted 2 hours being like, why don't you go fuck yourself and stay out of my business?
Yeah.
And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe I'm normal. That's good to know. Okay, let's go to take a break and come back with Reddit Dump. It is time for Reddit Dump. This is your Reddit Dump. All right, this one comes from antinatalism, which is people that are, this is the subreddit for people who don't like people having kids. They think the world is full of kids enough, and that all they do is like, they're kind of like, they're not nice people. Like the subreddit I don't post in, I'm not supporting these people. These people hate people who are putting more people in this world, and all they post is stuff about like bad parents, and they're like, yeah, these people are the people that are having kids. Great, more of this. So this was an interesting one. It said, And it was a screenshot of a question that someone had as a parent. So the title was, "These breeders are insane." They call them breeders. Just thought to drop this here. And then this question is from a person with kids. Am I weird for having sex while a woman... Am I weird for having sex with a woman in a studio apartment while her kids sleep? I told her, "What are you doing?" She said they are heavy sleepers and there are no rooms. LOL. Let me clarify. One was like 8 months. The other was 2. What do you guys think?
Doesn't
Having
matter.
sex in a room
They
with a
don't
2-year-old and an 8 month. What was that? Okay, we have a differing opinions here. Noah says no, not
really?
good, gross.
What, really? Like, they don't remember anything.
I think it probably still lives. Like at that age, kids are like sponges. They just absorb so much more information because they can't really communicate that much with their voice. So they have to be hyper aware of their surrounding. That I think it just will seep in somewhere and traumatize them in some shape or form.
I'm torn. 2 is, if they're asleep and you're being really quiet, then I'm okay with it. But it still kind of kills the mood that there's like
different
kids
rooms
sleeping in a room
or
where
in
you're
the same room?
no same studio apartment, same room.
No, get out. Find another time.
Maybe if there's like a curtain or like some kind of
Do you
thing
know
that
how
separates.
often this kind of thing is happening all the fucking time?
Yeah,
That kids
I guess
are getting
maybe
fucked
it's a
in front of.
privileged point of view to be like, go into another room. Some people don't have another room.
Yeah, they don't have other rooms, and they need
this
to make
just a
more kids
boyfriend?
because clearly their lives are going great because they have 2 kids in a studio apartment and they need more. But that's judgmental too. People deserve sexual pleasure even if you have kids and you're not trying to procreate. Yeah, I think, when do kids start remembering though? Like when I mean, that woman the other night came up to me and shared her molestation with me, and she was like, "I was a baby and my dad molested me." So like, how did she remember that? Like, repressed memories get brought up. We need to have like a psychologist on here to talk to us about this, because I don't know when memories start, but I think at 2 you're probably safe to not remember anything. But Noah, you're not wrong that like just the air of your parents, like even waking up and hearing your mom going like it might just confuse you as a baby. You know what I mean? Like that might create a little bit of like, why is mom dying? Like, even though babies can't really, intellectualize, is she dying? It would just cause alarm. So kind of
My mom grew up in one room with her whole family in Russia, so I'm sure she heard some stuff. I asked her once, I was like, did you ever hear your parents having sex? She was like, I don't know. I'm sure they did it. I don't know. I don't think about it. So that's a yes.
So
Sounds
that's
like
a
yes.
loud and clear. I don't think about it. I just they put the baby outside in the snowdrift, and then they went inside and they fucked each other, and then you cupped your breast and you put the energy into it. These are all different things that Anya's mom has said over the years. Okay, so here's one. This is just good to know. You should know. This is from You Should Know. YSK, you should know. Women experiencing domestic abuse who are choked by their partners are 8 times more likely to be subsequently murdered by those partners. So this is just a good rule of thumb for anyone out there. If your boyfriend's thumbprint is on your neck, you are 8 times more likely to be murdered by him. And I just thought this was interesting. It's like being strangled is such a sign that you have no respect for someone's life and you want to like get the life out of them, that it is a future indicator that if you've been strangled in a domestic violence situation where even once like your boyfriend just was like, shut up, and like grabbed your throat, and not in a sexual way where you were like agreeing upon it, because otherwise I should head for the high hills. But like, if it was, if it's a passionate, like anger thing, watch out. And even if he's never hit you before, then there's this checklist of like, if you are likely to get murdered by your husband. And it's really disturbing. But I just thought that was an interesting thing. Like, I wouldn't think that was the number one indicator that you're more than likely to die if a guy strangled you. I know. Okay. This one was shitty life pro tips. This is just like a kind of, there's, life hacks, life pro tips, but this one's like a shitty one, and they're just always like jokey ones, but I think this one was funny. Shitty life pro tip. If someone corrects your grammar online, apologize and say your English is not very good. It's technically not a lie, but they will feel bad and likely compliment your English. Oh, that was so funny. Like if you just really fuck up, most people on YouTube comments are writing just unintelligible things that you just are like, and you could insult them and say like, it's actually your with an apostrophe, and they're like, well, English, I'm not very good at English, and then you automatically think that it's your second language, but it's just true. So I thought that would be a good tip for Andrew. Okay, so psychology is the next one. This one was interesting. Psychology. Dressing up and begging. A panhandler earns twice as much money wearing a suit versus t-shirt and jeans. What do you guys make of this?
Wow.
Twice as much money if a panhandler is wearing a suit. And I kind of pictured myself walking down the street and seeing someone panhandling, and then pictured like them wearing a suit and how I would feel. And it almost looks like, man, this guy just got laid off. His wife kicked him out. This guy is like just broken down on the side of the road. Like his life just changed. This isn't someone that's made a series of bad decisions. It was like something happened just today. Maybe that is it. But it just seems like almost counterintuitive that it wouldn't work that way. You know?
Right. Because you're thinking, you have money, you have a suit. You're like, why should I give you money? But I can also see the opposing, like, oh, let's help this guy get on his feet again, or girl.
Like you got dressed for work today, but you just lost your job. So here you are at the corner instead as an alternative.
Whereas if someone's in rags, we're like, this is too far gone. My dollar's not going to help much.
This simple but effective field experiment showed that people donated more than twice as much money to the scientist when he was wearing a high status suit compared to when he was draped in a lower status outfit. While we expected that the displaying high status symbols would lead to an increase in giving, I was still surprised by the size of this difference. Why would they expect it to be more? I feel like I hear so often, that homeless guy had a cell phone. I'm not giving anything to him. Like you would think that the more sad someone looks, and I just thought that was interesting, and I don't know what they concluded. Oh, the results confirmed that people perceived the suit-wearing researcher as having higher status than the same person wearing simple attire. They also rated the researcher in the suit as having higher competence, warmth, similarity to the self, and humanity. So I guess we give to situations that we more closely see ourselves in. So if we can empathize with the situation closer, we are more likely to give to that and be like, that could be me. And a guy in a suit is more like us than something. So it's so funny that even giving in the end turns out to be just a selfish endeavor.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll add this to my diatribe of reasons to my journal of scribblings and drawings. Final thought. Noah, you have a video that I sent to you from Reddit.
Okay, yes. This comes from Pop Culture Chat.
It's people reaching for something, which is why I hate paid meet and greets. You've paid for the album, you've paid for the ticket, you for the parking, you get them in the room, and somebody's gone, how do we monetize that bit? I tell you what, if you want to do paid meet and greets, do them. I stand by you, but you take the money. If you're an artist and you do paid meet and greets, do it cash.
I do.
And you take the money off.
Oh, I take the money.
I challenge you.
It's fucking gross.
It's absolutely fucking gross.
This
guy,
Matt
I was gonna
Healy
send
from the
this to you 2 weeks
1975.
ago.
Go fuck yourself, guy from the 1975. You know what? Paid meet and greet. Then I would meet no one. It's either I do it paid or I meet no one. And it's not because I want to make money off of it. I could give two shits about the money. I like the money. I'm appreciative that people pay the money to meet me, but I can't meet everyone. And I'm guarantee you this motherfucker does not, he does VIP meet and greets with like record labels and like their kids that get hooked up with meet and greets. But this guy isn't waiting after shows, and you can't meet Matt Healy from the 1975 if you go to his show. Guess what? You don't get a chance. You don't get a chance to meet him because he doesn't have paid meet and greets, and he doesn't have an unpaid meet and greet. So this guy's acting like he meets everyone after a show. If you want to meet me, let's have a real interaction. No, you don't. You don't meet anyone. You stay backstage. You don't meet anyone. I, after shows, spend a fucking hour meeting people, and I love doing it. It's one of my favorite things. So don't make me feel bad about monetizing it when I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't monetize it because it would be too many people. So it's either you don't do a meet and greet at all or you do a paid one. And this made me so mad that they were like, it's fucking gross. It's fucking gross. It's like, no, you're not telling the whole story.
It's so
And you know what's
easy
fucking
for him
gross?
to
Wash
say.
your hair, Matt Healy.
This made me so mad. I saw it a couple weeks ago. I wanted to send it to you. It's privileged for two reasons. One, he's a very wealthy musician doing well. He doesn't probably need to do paid meet and greets because his ticket sales are high. Second of all,
He doesn't do meet and greets. There's no way he does meet and greets. Do you
Right.
think that guy meets? How could he weed out the people to meet? 1975 had thousands of people at their show. What does
Right.
he do? I'd want to hear what he does for meet and greets then. There is no meet and greet.
Also, it's such virtue signaling. Like, I'm so care. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just meet people freely, which he's not going to do. Secondly,
He's not doing
Matt
that.
Healy,
Yeah.
guess what? You're a guy. For a woman who's out there like Nikki or any woman who's famous, you need to separate people, just any old person who could potentially hurt you, from people who are serious. You know what one deterrent is?
You have to pay to kill
a
me.
paid meet and greet. Yeah, you got to pay, and there's security guards. There's all kinds of precautionary measures. So it's really easy for him to say that. He's a guy that's not too worried about his safety, and he's wealthy.
Can you imagine
bullshit.
how long do you think I would be after? Literally, I would have no time to do even one podcast a week. I would stop touring if I had to do meet and greets after shows for everyone who wanted to do it unpaid, and I had no paywall up. And by the way, I give away free meet and greets constantly.
All the
Half the meet and
time.
greets I do are free because someone comes up to the merch booth and says, I can't afford it. We give them a free one. Someone writes me and goes, I can't afford it. Or someone goes alone. That's why I've done the free meet and greet alone. I'm not trying to make money off of people. I'm just trying to cut down on the number, because the problem is, if
Yeah, it takes
everyone's
like an hour.
allowed to get a meet and greet, then they do it. And these people don't really care about meeting me. They just want a fucking picture because they see other people doing it. So if you really want one, I'll give you a free meet and greet. Write to me. Just try it out. I'll give you a free one. But this really made me mad because if you're a 1975 fan, have you ever met Matt Healy? Have you ever tried to meet him? Has it been easy? I know you didn't have to pay, but was there a thing after the show where you got to line up? Because if there was, I'll take back everything I said. If this guy waits after shows and does a meet and greet with everyone that wants to meet him, and there's no paywall or no kind of VIP pass you need, which by the way
Right.
is a paywall. I don't care if your dad knows a guy that
totally.
works at fucking Live Nation. That's a paywall of some kind, that your rich dad knew some other rich guy that got you a meet and greet backstage. So I like the 1975, and but I just thought this was just so and by the way, meet and greets are available, and like I said, if you write me and say you can't afford it, I will give you a free one. I really will. And this is the only time I'm going to say that. So if you hear it, good.
But I don't
good.
think that's.
But
I don't get the shaming around it. We live in a capitalist society. If you want to meet the artist, there's an opportunity. You get like a few minutes with them. You can get something signed. You have an interaction, and you can either choose to buy it or not. It's not forced upon you. So what's the controversy?
no, but my time and my attention and fans, they deserve my time. And they just I want it, and she's a person, she has it. That goes back to me. Like, I'm cutting back on podcasts, but I want to spend my time singing on Instagram where I'm not making any money. And it's like, why is she doing that if she could be doing this? Like, we want her in the way that and this is not any of the fans listening right now. This is falling on deaf ears because you guys are not the people that I'm talking to. But yeah, there is that thing of but I want it. And if you don't get do you know how many times people are like, get over here, take a picture with my friend, come here, we want to do this. Okay, now we want to do a
Yeah,
video.
it happened to you in Santa
Hold on.
Barbara.
Well,
Yeah.
come over here.
just-
Wait, stand on this side. Wait, just hold, and yelling at Matt who's taking pictures and being like, no, take another one. Oh my God, this is so blurry, and just being such cunts about it. Like, this is still my time. I'm happy to give it. And I really do love meet and greets. When people come up and say, I know you hate this, I'm so sorry. I don't hate it. I promise you I don't. It is more fun for me than the show a lot of times. Truly. I love meeting fans. And I didn't used to like it. And I genuinely like it now. I'm so glad I can say that. But when you boss around the people that are taking pictures, when you don't say thank you when you hand your phone to, or he hands your phone back to you, when you don't say, it's really bothersome. You're too entitled. I don't care what you paid. You still say thank you. And that's another one I'm talking to here because you guys are all cool and nice. I'm in Burlington, Vermont this week. I am in Providence, Rhode Island. Next week, I'll be the Grand Marshal of the Thanksgiving Day Parade there in St. Louis. So come see me sing the national anthem downtown if you want to do that. And then the following week I am in Memphis, and then there's Atlantic City, there's Hershey, Pennsylvania, there is Waterloo, New York, and then St. Louis for New Year's Eve, and many, many more dates, all at nikkiglaser.com. I would love to meet you. Meet and greets available at Meet and Greet, and if you go alone, you can write me going alone, your name and the city, and I will give you a free meet and greet. And because you listen to this special episode, if you just can't afford a meet and greet and you go in a group, I'll grant you one of those too. Just write me and just tell me your situation. I'm appreciative that you even go to my show. I love you guys. Thank you for listening, and don't be jackpot.